find ourselves a place of ease on our mats. Coming to rest with your shoulders and your head released to the floor. Knees may be bent, feet on the floor. You can have the feet drop closed or open. Hands released and relaxed to your sides. Or you may find it relaxing to place the hands beside your face as though you're holding the arms in goalposts. Whatever feels good to you. Simply feeling the support of the floor beneath you. Settling into the space. Consciously releasing whatever happened before this moment. You begin to feel your body settle. Begin to draw your awareness inward. Perhaps letting your awareness play about your toes. Maybe lifting the toes and wiggling them a little bit, letting go of any tightness or tension. And just let the feet relax back down, offering them gratitude. Invite them to soften. And begin to slowly scan your physical body. Moving up towards the crown of your head. Pausing to let your awareness linger on any places you may be holding tightness or tension. Invite them to soften and let go. Particularly notice any areas where you may have had an injury in the past. Offering those places compassion and gratitude. Inviting a softness and ease to settle into your physical body. And begin to notice the rise and fall of your chest as you breathe in and out. Movement up and down of the belly. Movement in and out of the rib cage. Just watching your breath. Softening the muscles around the eyes and the jaw. Softening the fingers. And as the mind wanders off, as it is wont to do, call it gently back to this moment. Watching your breath. Taking in with each inhalation whatever it is you need to support you today. Releasing that which is no longer serving you with each exhalation. Next time you watch your exhale, bring the belly towards your spine. Really release that breath completely, emptying out the lungs. And then take a deep breath in through the nostrils, really filling up those lungs, feeling, sending the breath each and every part of your body. And then let it out in a sigh. And then let's do that a couple more times, breathing in through the nostrils. Really think about spreading that life force around to each of the quarters of your being. And then letting it out in a sigh. And one more time, inhaling deeply. And letting it out in a sigh. And let your breath find its balance between the inhales and the exhales. Noticing how you're feeling at this moment. Settling the body, settling into your breath. Perhaps setting an intention for your practice this morning. A word or a phrase that describes something you'd like to take with you from the mat out into the world. Think of it as planting a seed of something you'd like to see more of in your life. And eventually, as you go through your practice, calling that seed into flower. And as you're ready, we'll begin inviting some small movements into the body. Begin by rocking the head gently from side to side, bringing the ear towards the floor, each one in its turn, letting the breath lead the movement, perhaps inhaling to center and exhaling one ear towards the floor. Inhaling back to center. And slowly exhaling the opposite ear towards the floor. And continue consciously releasing and relaxing anything you may be holding in the neck that is not serving you. Eventually meeting me back with the head in neutral. We're going to inhale and lift the hands and feet up toward the ceiling and just begin slowly circling out the wrists and the ankles, letting go of anything you may be holding in those extremities. And reversing as you're ready. And then letting that movement go and letting the ankles and wrists soften. Also let the knees and elbows be soft. Simply letting your extremities release a little bit from the usual pull of gravity. Continuing to breathe. Nice and steady. Feeling your presence in this moment. And then from the nice stable foundation of the hips and shoulders, begin to gently bicycle the arms and legs. Really reaching and bringing them in. Not rushing the motion. Feeling into each individual joint of the fingers, the toes, flexing and bending. Knees and elbows, fingers. Reversing as you're ready. And then letting that movement go, we're going to bring the knees into the chest, a hand on each knee. Inhale the knees away from each other and away from the chest. Exhale them in towards each other and in towards the chest. Just beginning to open up the hips here. Circling the knees in opposing directions, keeping the feet active. And reversing those circles when it feels right to you. And then letting that movement go, we're going to release the feet to the floor. The knees stay bent about hips width apart. Feet are a little bit away from the buttocks. We're going to reach the arms out into a T position with the palms facing up. I'd like you to reach gently towards opposing walls. Your hands are at shoulder height, relatively. If you were standing up, they'd be at shoulder height. We're on the floor, reaching out to the side walls. You may feel a line of activation from fingertip to the opposite fingertips. Feeling some effort in the arm muscles. As you gently, next inhalation, lift the arms just a couple inches off of the floor. Just let them hover here. You may feel that effort in the arms, a little bit of heat building. And then we're going to come into a flow. Nice deep inhale to reach out from the fingers to the opposite wall. On your exhalation, we're going to bring one knee into the chest, doesn't matter which one. And bring the hands to the knee. And then inhale, arms go back out into the T. We're going to press the heel straight out and either forward or you can go up. Just locking the knee as you press. It's up to you how close to the ground you'd like the foot to be. It's going to be a little more intense the closer to the ground it gets. Inhale, bring that knee into the chest. Exhale, arms go out to the side, pressing that foot, same side foot. We're staying on one side. I happen to be doing the left. It doesn't matter which one you do. We're going to inhale, knee into chest. Bring the hands in. Gentle traction. Bring the knee into the chest. Exhale, arms reach out from the shoulders. Press that foot maybe up to the ceiling, maybe straight forward. I'm letting it float. You can do that too. Inhale, knee into chest. Gentle traction with the hand. Exhale, press that heel up. Maybe it floats. Maybe it goes straight out to begin with. And continue following your breath. Finding your expression of this flow. And one more time with that same side foot, let that foot float down and then inhale, bring that foot back to meet the opposite one, knee bent. And then inhale the other knee into the chest, gentle traction with the hand. Exhale, press that foot away from your body at any angle that feels right to you, maybe letting it float towards the floor, maybe not. Inhale, arms come in, gently press the knee into the chest. Exhale, arms reach out, foot extends, leg extends for the length of the breath. Inhale, taking your time, bring that opposite knee into the chest. So if you did the left on the first time, we're doing the right now. And vice versa. Following your breath. And one more time. And then exhale, release that foot, and inhale, have both knees pointing back up to the ceiling, feet are fixed. We're going to bring the hands palm side down, about 30 degrees away from the hips. I'd like you to bring the heels a little bit closer in towards the buttocks. Knees stay parallel with each other, about hips width apart. We're going to inhale. I'm going to have you lift the back of the pelvis and tilt the tailbone forward so it's reaching towards the floor. You may feel a gentle arc in the low back. This doesn't have to be a big movement. On the exhalation, lifting the tailbone slightly, just flatten the low back onto the floor, pressing gently into the feet as though you're going to lift the hips, except we're not. We're just rocking the pelvis. Inhale, lift the back of the pelvis, tilting the tailbone forward. Exhale, engage the belly, pressing the lower back into the floor. Feet are active. Inhale, roll the top of the pelvis forward, gentle arc in the low back. Exhale, pressing the low back into the floor. This time you can stay here or you can lift the hips gently up, peeling the tailbone and any other vertebrae that would like to follow up to having the weight into your shoulders and no higher. Inhale, let the vertebrae release down onto the floor. Knees are staying parallel. Be aware of not letting them drop open here. Pelvis tilts forward. Exhale, press the feet in, engage the belly, perhaps lifting the hips or perhaps just pressing the pelvis back into the floor. It's the same activation, finding your expression of this flow. Inhaling, releasing down, rolling the pelvis forward. Exhale, pressing the low back in, pressing the feet in, perhaps lifting the hips. One more time, inhale, lower back down to the floor, perhaps arcing the pelvis, tailbone forward, and exhale, simply release to a neutral pelvis. Taking the knees into the chest. Keeping the hands out at your sides, knees and feet are touching. Keeping the belly engaged, begin to draw circles on the ceiling with the knees and feet going in the same direction. Try to minimize the rocking of the pelvis from side to side here. You can begin by making very small circles to begin if you'd like. You can begin to explore the range of motion here, letting go of any snap, crackles, and pops in the low back, reversing those circles when it feels right to you. Remembering to keep the breath flowing here. Present with any sensations which arise. And letting that movement go. With the knees into the chest, we're going to roll over onto the left side. So I'm going to be facing you. Rolling over onto your left side, you can turn around if you'd like to be facing me as well. Cushioning your head on your upper arm, left arm, or with a blanket if you have one handy. Notice, look down and see that your hips are below your shoulders. So in a sideline position, you may need to have the right fingers tented in front of the ribs just to give yourself a little bit of support. I'm going to have you inhale and reach down through both heels, lengthening the spine. Feel perhaps the hips moving slightly away from the ribs. Perhaps it's available to you to lift the right leg just to hips height. So as though you're standing, except that we're lying on our left side. If you're feeling stable here, reach the right arm down towards the right hip. Again, just as though you're standing, reaching gently away, just extending that arm slightly away from the hip. Any amount that feels right to you. Coming into balance here. If you'd like a little more challenge, reach that right arm up straight toward the ceiling. Lift the right leg a little bit higher. And if you roll over, forward or backwards, that's fine. Just setting yourself back up. The left elbow may give you some more support if you bend the elbow and pushing your head that way. I happen to have my left arm straight above my head, but that's a modification is to give yourself some more support by bending that left elbow. Just reaching here, first balance pose of the day. Begin circling out that right wrist and ankle. And reversing. Again, staying present. And letting that movement go. Nice deep inhale, lift and reach towards the ceiling with both right limbs. And then exhale, slowly release them down. So the right foot meets the left and the right hand meets the right hip. Just pausing here, noticing how you feel. We're going to bend the knees here, bringing the, bend the knees and bring the shins parallel with the side of the mat, if that's available to you. And knees can be straight forward from the hips in 90 degrees, or they can be slightly below, whatever works best for your low back. Just giving yourself a little more stability in your side lying position. And we'll come into our supine walking. We're going to inhale, reach the right upper arm beside your right ear and press that right heel straight down from the hip. On your exhalation, right knee comes into the chest at hip height as the right arm sweeps down towards the right hip, staying shoulder height off of the floor. Inhale and lengthen. Exhale and bring it in. I'm just going to stand up so you can see the movement. It's inhale, lengthen, although you're lying down. Exhale, sweep that arm, perhaps back behind the hip if that's available to you. Bring the knee into the chest. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, bring it in. Nice meditative movement. No need to rush the motion. Staying with your breath. Letting the movement and the breath begin and end as one. And once more, inhale to extend. And then on the exhalation, bring the knees together and just release the right hand down onto the floor and release all effort here. Mentally scanning your body, notice any sensations which have arisen. And then pressing into the left side, rolling over onto your back. I'm going to switch around. And just staying here for a moment on your back, noticing any difference you feel between the right and the left sides here of your body. We're going to bring both knees into the chest. Wrap your arms around your knees. Give yourself a nice squeeze here, keeping the feet active. If you'd like, the chin can reach towards the knees. Give yourself a little bit of a cervical spine lengthener here. And then exhale and release the head down. And then as you're ready, releasing the knees down, the feet down onto the floor, we're going to roll over onto the right side, lengthen the feet away from the hips, right arm either extends straight above your head along the floor with your right ear resting on your upper right arm, or if you'd like some more stability, bending the right elbow, cushioning your head that way. Look down and make sure that your hips and your shoulders are in line and your heels as well. And then, and perhaps tenting the left fingers in front of the ribs. Inhale, lengthen down through your heels. Lengthen through the spine. Perhaps inhale, lifting that left foot away from the right foot just to hips height off of the floor. Perhaps reaching that right arm down, excuse me, left. Yeah, I'm lying on my right side. We're lying on our right side. Left arm reaches down towards the left hip and hovers just above it, as though you're standing up. So your left side of your body is as though you're standing. Your right side is lying on the floor here. Just notice, take a moment to notice any sensations, where your mind has gone, how this feels to be standing up, although you're lying down on the floor. It's a different orientation with gravity. Notice any sensations you're feeling in the muscles on the left side of your body. If you'd like a little more challenge, begin to lift the left arm and the left leg up toward the ceiling. Begin circling wrists and ankles. Wrist and ankle, excuse me, left side, wrist and ankle. Reversing as you're ready. Nice deep inhale, releasing the circling, lift the hand and left foot up toward the ceiling. And exhale, let them float down towards the left side. Left foot meets the right, left hand meets the left thigh. Taking a moment here, a couple of breaths. And as you're ready, let's inhale, bring the knees in towards the chest, any amount, just letting the right knee bend to give yourself a little bit more support. And then inhale and lengthen. The left arm comes up above your head, the left heel goes below the left hip. On your exhalation, sweep that left hand straight out in front of your face, shoulder height. At the same time, bring that left knee in towards your chest, any amount, coming into your supine walking here. Inhale and lengthen. Exhale, bring knee in towards chest, sweep that left hand down towards the hip. Perhaps it goes back a little ways behind the hip if that's available to you. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, bring it in. So again, the movement is like this. One breath, one movement. Bringing both sides of your body into balance. Feeling that life force flowing towards the tips of each finger and toe. Letting go with each exhalation, that which is no longer serving you. And inhale and lengthen. And exhale, release the knees together, left hand comes down onto the floor. Taking your time, we're going to press the hands into the floor and begin to slowly work your way up to a seated position. You may or may not feel slightly dizzy here. Eventually meeting me in a seated posture. We're going to reach the legs straight out from the hips and then create some distance here. Flexing the feet, sitting up nice and tall. Take hold of your imaginary kettle spoon and we'll begin stirring the pot, really feeling this motion originating from deep within the core. Perhaps beginning small. Perhaps eventually reaching through the arms, leaning back, feeling the core strength as you lean back as though you were rowing a boat. Imagine feeling some resistance as you stir, reversing direction when it feels right to you. And letting that movement go, meet me back in center, releasing that imaginary kettle spoon. Sit up nice and tall, fingers right here between your legs. On the exhalation, we're going to hinge forward at the hips, bring the chest forward, but keeping the spine long, so we're not rounding the shoulders towards the floor. We're lengthening forward and up. The fingers may walk towards the front of the room. Any amount, pausing whenever you're feeling you found your sensation. Breathing here. Next inhalation, we're going to start to walk the hands towards the right. Reach towards your right leg with the left hand. Again, bringing that sensation into the left lower back here, perhaps left lower side body. Not necessarily, be gentle with yourself, not necessarily finding an edge, just a nice sensation of stretch here, inviting an openness into the lower left back. And inhale, slowly walk the hands back to center. This time on the exhalation, walking the hands towards your left foot, reaching through the right arm towards the left foot, keeping the chest lifted here. A nice little bit of a twist, nice extension in the lower right side of the body. Breathing here. And inhale back to center. Exhale, keeping the spine long. Begin to walk the hands back towards you, lifting the vertebrae from the bottom up. Ooh, and letting that, and then bringing the feet. You can use the assistance of your hands to bring the feet in so that your knees are bent. I'll turn sideways. You can see what I'm doing. And then we're gonna be sitting up. We're gonna be reaching the hands up. And I'd like you to plant the feet. Feel that connection with the ground beneath you. Feel your belly firm a little bit. And then on your inhalation, press into the floor. Lift the ribs up and away from the hips. Begin to open the heart. Feel the chest lift, perhaps gazing up, or they'll keep your chin slightly tucked. You don't want the head to drop back without support. Pressing the ground away from you, feel the shoulders move in towards the spine. Nice deep opening of the chest here. Breathing. And exhale, bring the spine back to neutral. Kick the cat out of the way. Bring the feet to the outer edges of the mat. And begin to gently windshield wiper the knees from side to side, following your breath. Perhaps the gaze goes in the opposite direction. Meeting me back in center. Nice deep inhale. We're going to sit up tall. The hands are still behind your back. We're going to exhale and drop the right knee towards the left ankle. So a little more of an internal rotation of the right hip here. And inhale, lift. And on the exhale, dropping the opposite knee towards the other ankle. Keeping that foot slightly flexed. Breathe here. And inhale the knees up. And then we're going to bring the feet behind us. Come up into all fours. Taking one foot forward, doesn't matter which one. Inhale the shoulders above the hips. Exhale, tucking the rear toes under, pressing into both feet, and coming to standing. Feet can be hips width apart here. Toes pointing roughly forward. Just begin by rocking your weight from toe to heel. Perhaps coming up onto the toes as if that's available to you. Inhaling to bring the weight forward and exhaling back down with control. Eventually coming to a stillness where you feel an equal distribution of weight in the right and the left foot, and among the triangle of support, the pad beneath the heel, pad beneath the pinky, pad beneath the big toe. Checking in with your posture, navel's moving in toward the spine, crown of the head lifts, shoulders relaxed down the back. We're just going to start here by standing nice and tall. I'd like you to connect with any intention you may have set at the beginning of class. And then as you're ready, we're going to inhale. We're going to just lift the shoulders up to the ears, and on the exhalation, press them back and down. Inhale them forward and up, and exhale them back and down. And continue following your breath, reversing as you're ready. And now we've loosened up the shoulders a little bit. We're going to bring the arms into this. I'm just going to turn to the side. We're going to bring the hands to heart center. Nice deep inhale to lengthen up, and on the exhalation, sink the hips back, bend into the knees as though you're sinking into a chair that's behind you. And I'd like you to pause here, feeling heat building up in your thighs. If you'd like a little more, you can inhale the arms straight forward, or if you'd like a little more challenge, bring them in line with the rest of your spine. So the arms come up beside the ears, upper arms come up beside the ears. Breathing here. And inhale, straighten the knees, lift. The arms may come up, they may not, it's up to you. Exhale, maybe the arms sweep around in angel wings, and as you sit back down in your chair, maybe the arms simply come back to heart center or reach forward. It's up to you. So inhale, either the arms can come into your angel wings, or you can, as we sweep and bend, coming in and out of chair, or you can simply keep reaching the arms forward and coming back and forth from prayer. Up to you. Depending on how your shoulders are feeling today. Inhale, perhaps reach, exhale, sit, sweep, and bend. Inhale, here, reach, exhale, sweep, and bend. And continue following your breath. Perhaps the arms only come up to shoulder height. Exhale. And one more time, coming down into chair. Pausing here at chair. If you're feeling stable, you'd like a little more challenge on your next exhalation, turning the ribs towards the right. Bring the left elbow as though you're going to touch the right knee, but the right knee, but don't need to duck down. We're keeping the spine long here, keeping the length. This is just a twist, so it's not as much of a forward fold. And inhale back to center. And exhale, perhaps the right elbow moves towards the left knee, lifting the left ribs up toward the ceiling. And see what I look like from the side. Like this. Breathing here. And exhale back to center. And inhale, straighten. Exhale, release the arms. Down at your sides, go ahead and swing. And then we're going to come into a balanced pose. So if you'd like to have a wall handy or a chair to support you in your balance, feel free to come to a wall. We're going to come into a simple tree pose here, finding your foundation on both feet. Lengthen up to the crown, checking in with your posture, finding your mountain pose. Settling into the present moment if your mind has wandered. Connected with your breath. Imagine that you have a string of pearls going through your center line. Inhale, lengthen up, and on the exhalation, shifting the weight into your right foot, coming up onto the left toes. Hands may come up to heart center. Left knee may turn out to the side. It's fine to keep the toes on the floor, but if you'd like a little more to explore a little further, bringing the left foot to the inside of the right ankle, calf, or thigh. Broadening across the collarbones, pressing gently into that right foot, finding a focal point on the wall in front of you to fix your gaze. Keeping the mind focusing on the breath. Feeling into this moment. Inhale, perhaps the arms reach up as though you're adding branches to your tree. Soften the muscles of your face, perhaps inviting a smile. Breathing here. And inhale, reach a little higher, grow, and exhale. Step out wide and shake it out. Again, finding your foundation on both feet. This time, inhale, gathering the mass of your body mentally into your hips, and exhaling, dump it down into your left foot, coming up onto the right toes beneath the right hip, hand at heart center, turning that right knee out to the side, any amount. Perhaps bringing the bottom of the right foot to the inside of the left leg. Again, soften the shoulders down the back, shoulder blades are down the back, broadening across the chest. Feel the heartwood of your tree. Feel your heart center. Feel that life force pulsing through your body. Perhaps inhale and growing branches. Stretching your possibilities. Breathing here. Gathering support from the root system beneath you. And inhale, reach, and exhale, step out wide, shake it out. And we'll come into our empty shirt sleeve, stepping the feet mat with the part, toes pointing roughly out a little bit to the side, lengthening up through the crown, and on your exhalation, just begin to gently twist the torso from side to side, let the arms flow nice and loose. And be gentle with yourself. No need to throw the arms around. Be mindful of your spine. Perhaps coming up onto the toes, a posing a twist once you found your rhythm. And gradually letting that movement go and coming back to center. We'll release the hands to the hips and begin circling out the hips. Oh, I miss Hawaii. And reversing as you're ready. And letting that movement go and coming back to neutral. We're gonna take the arms out wide here. Inhale and reach out to the opposite ends of the room, and then exhale and put the right elbow above the left. Perhaps you can just place the hands on the shoulders, or if it's available to you, to walk the fingers around along the shoulder blades. I'm turning around so you can see what I'm doing. And invite space to come in between the shoulder blades, opening up the back body here, offering yourself loving kindness, whatever you need today. If you'd like a little bit more here, go ahead and hinge forward at the hips. Let the elbows get heavy, reaching towards the floor. And invite the shoulders to move away from the spine. Invite all of the muscles in the back body to move away from the spine. Breathing here. Inhale from the belly, rise and open and reach. And exhale, left elbow above the right. Same thing here, grasping your shoulders, or perhaps if it's available to you, walking your fingers along the shoulder blades. Keep the elbows about shoulder height. Inviting space between the shoulder blades, opening up the back body. Feeling loved. Offering the most important person in your life, yourself, your kind regards. Perhaps on the next exhalation, hinging at the hips, elbows get heavy, drawing the muscles of the back away from the spine, just as though just think of them melting, getting soft. Breathing here, releasing any tightness that may still be in your back body. And as you're ready, inhale from the belly, gently rise up. And exhale, just release the hands down. You may feel like you need to roll the shoulders a little bit, forward and back. You may feel as though you'd like to swing a little bit more if your arms if the shoulders started to, if that made your shoulders feel like they need to release a little bit. And letting that movement go. We're going to do a quick warrior one on both sides. So coming to standing, I'm just turning my side to you. We're going to inhale and step the right foot back, hands at heart center, bending into that left knee. Inhale and lengthen up to the crown of the head, strongly pressing into both feet, feeling that strength of your legs. We've done a lot with the arms, so it's okay if you don't feel like lengthening up with the arms, but if you feel like reaching up, go ahead and bring the arms up. I'm not going to. Breathing here. And then as you're ready, exhale, hands come to heart center. Inhale, lengthening up to the crown, and on your exhalation, twisting from the belly up towards the left. Perhaps gazing over the left shoulder. Breathing here. And inhaling, unwind back to center. Exhale and bring your hands behind your back to support your low back, or the hands, you can grasp your elbows. Inhale, imagine you have a string attached to your sternum, belly stays in, lifting the heart, lifting the chest towards the sky. Perhaps gazing slightly upward, again keeping some length in the neck, not letting it drop back without support. And exhale, hinge forward at the hips, send the crown of the head towards the front of the room. Nice flat back here. And inhale from the belly rise. Exhale, hands come to heart center and stepping the right foot forward. Taking your time to find your center. Couple of breaths here. Noticing your presence. And then as you're ready, taking your time, inhale, step the left foot back. Exhale, bend into the right knee. If you'd like to inhale, arms up, feel free to reach up. Breathing here. And if your arms are up, exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, lengthen through the crown, shoulders relax away from the ears. And then on your exhalation, from the belly twisting towards the right. Perhaps gazing over the right shoulder. Breathing here. And inhale to unwind, exhale, hands come behind the back, either grasping elbows or supporting the low back with your palm. Inhale, lift the sternum, lift the heart up toward the ceiling. Breathing here. Receiving whatever it is you need to receive today. Exhaling, hinging forward, coming towards the flat back, getting some weight on that back foot, lengthening through the crown of the head. And inhale from the belly rise. Exhale, hands to heart center and step towards the front of the mat. And as you're ready, we're going to come back down onto the floor, coming down first to one knee, followed by the other. Move down onto seated position at first. Sit up nice and tall. Knees bent. On your exhalation, we're going to lay the vertebrae down from the bottom up, using the control of your center muscles. Releasing, so the shoulders release, the head is the last to release to the mat. You may need to tuck your shoulders under a little bit, finding that connection with the ground beneath you. And here, feel free to come into any pose that your body feels called to do, whether it might be happy baby with the feet up in the air, with your hips rolling from side to side, grasping either your feet or behind the knees. Or you can come into the legs up the wall with the heels pressing up toward the ceiling, hips width apart. Or you can simply bring one knee and then the other into the chest. Or you can bring both knees into the chest and rock gently from side to side. These are all available to you. Whatever your body feels called to do for the next 20 seconds or so. And as you're ready, meet me back in center. We're going to inhale, hands and feet up toward the ceiling. Nice deep inhale here. I'm going to have you really take a nice deep inhale here. Hold that breath. 1, 2, 3, and then sigh it out. Let the limbs float down towards the mat. And begin to make your body ready for Shavasana, relaxation pose. Feel free to cover up with a blanket or with clothing. Feel free to bend the knees and let them drop open or close. Feel free to place a blanket beneath the neck or the knees. Roll over onto one side or onto the belly if that's more conducive to your releasing. Once you've found your preferred pose for relaxation, allow the eyes to close and release all effort. Imagine that you're on a nice, soft, sandy, warm beach somewhere with the warm sun shining down upon you. Feel it playing about your toes. Let your toes be suffused with warmth and softness. Feel that warmth and softness suffuse the physical body, moving from the bottoms of your feet slowly up towards the crown of your head. Releasing anything that may be holding you back. Softening the belly. Softening the chest and shoulders. Softening the neck and the face. Releasing a little more deeply with the next exhalation. And just be here.